Les here of Les Archery Adventures. Series testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing another vintage broadhead. Okay, this thing's been around forever. And again, thanks to my buddy Lucas Harrison, who sent me a pack of these. I mean, I'm tempted to just put them like in a little mini museum or something, or put them on the wall rather than test them. But it's also really fun to test this old stuff and see how it performs. But this is the Satellite 3-blade, okay? So we're going to go through it and introduce it here in just a second, and then I'm going to put it to the test using my 2024 regimen. And for a detailed description of that, you can check out the video that I posted earlier this year called 2024 Broadhead Test Process, and I'll explain all the testing, why I do it, and how I tabulate the scores and so forth. It'll really be helpful. And then for all the shooting, most of the shooting, I'm using my new Elite Era, and that bow is really sweet. And then for the flight testing, I'm using my Killer Instinct SWAT X1 crossbow because I can really lock it down and dial it in, and then just kind of leave nothing to human error or very little. And then for the arrows, I'm really loving these Bishop Archery arrows. I keep talking about the FOC Kings for most of the shooting, the Fat Eliminators for the hard impact stuff, and then their GOAT bolt for my crossbow shooting. All right, let's zoom on in here and check out this vintage Satellite and then put it to the test. Here's a good look at this broadhead, and man, this just looks like a blast from the way past, right? Let's start with the materials. First of all, you got some kind of an aluminum ferrule. Not sure what it is, probably a 6061, but I'm just not sure. You've got stainless steel blades, and by my measurements, they're 0.015 inches thick, making them the thinnest blades that I've ever tested to my knowledge, pretty much by far. Okay, that's some really thin blades. Eager to see how they hold up. If you were to resharpen them, then you could use a Stay Sharp Guide, a replaceable blade sharpener. It would actually work pretty good with this. They've got a tip. It's not a chisel tip. It's just a rounded, kind of like a sharp field point right there, tip that they used to use in the past like that. I'm not really sure how durable this is going to be. There's just a little bit of a lip that goes under this tip and fits into the back. So sometimes those blades have a tendency to come out on a hard impact, but we'll just have to see. They are not vented. They're solid all the way through, so it might be a little bit quieter in flight. And just a 1-inch cutting diameter, so it may penetrate relatively well. But given that length, I'm not sure how it's going to fly. We're just going to have to see. That's why we do the test, to see how it performs. But really eager to put this Satellite to the test and see how it does. The Satellite got the solid 9 ring. It only took 136 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale, plus it'll get a bonus for being below the baseline of 200. I know you can't see it very well, but it penetrated right at 9 inches. It took an additional 106 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 7.88 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 61 layers. The head is in pristine shape after the 3 shots through the MDF. And it did surprisingly well after the 2 shots through the steel plate. You can see it made decent holes. I mean, they're really small holes, but it did punch holes right through it. The tip got a bit blunted, and each of the blades got quite a bit of edge chatter there. But otherwise, structurally, it held together fine. Here's the satellite after all the durability testing, and man, it did surprisingly well through the MDF and through the steel plate. I was really surprised with that. And then into the concrete, it actually stuck. It embedded into the concrete, but as you can see, the ferrule got pretty jacked up there, and as a result, I could only find 2 of the blades. The blades got pretty mangled up as well, but overall was more durable than I would have expected for sure. So what'd you think? Man, it exceeded my expectations, okay? I didn't know about that little conical tip. I didn't know the super thin blades. Are they gonna fall out really easily? Are they gonna get all nicked up really easily? How sharp are they gonna be? How's this thing gonna fly? I had no idea, and across the board, it exceeded my expectations. So I love seeing something from the old days that really can hold its own even today. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not replacing the stuff that I'm using today with this head or any others that I know from the old days, but it's good to see that it really has stood the test of time. So you check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and then see what the overall cumulative score is and the corresponding Lusk grade. And stay tuned for a list of all the discount codes that I can pass on to you as well.